Dubai is one of the world's leading tourist destinations, and tourism is a major source of revenue here. A preferred tourism destination during the pandemic, Dubai succeeded in overcoming the impact of international travel restrictions in key global markets. The total contribution of the travel and tourism sector to the UAE's GDP was $43 billion, which amounts to 12% of the total GDP and is forecast to rise by 4.9% per annum.
A nearly 550% increase when it comes to the average revenue per room, a 78% increase when it comes to the occupancy of domestic rooms. It seems that the hospitality market here in the Dubai UAE region is continuing to boom despite the pandemic. In the mid to short term, what is driving some of this enthusiasm? What makes this market and region one of the safest when it comes to travelers' opinion and perception of markets that they want to be traveling to? Well, all of those questions being posed to some of the biggest players in the hospitality space in this region. Listen in.
Taj, an iconic Indian hospitality brand with a legacy of over 116 years, opened their latest property, Taj Exotica Resort and Spa, The Palm, Dubai, which is a distinctive island oasis nestled in the iconic Palm Jumeirah. This is the Taj Group's third hotel in Dubai.
Ranjit, so good having you here. It's fantastic being here, and what amazing views from the property here at the Taj at the Palm Jumeirah. And thank you once again for joining us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you in our new baby, as I call it.
Yeah.
We opened this hotel just very recently, about 2 months ago. On the 7th of March, we launched the hotel. Since then, we've seen a fantastic response. I think a lot of that has to do with the Taj legacy is one, and also the fact that Dubai itself is doing extremely well. So we have 325 rooms. The best part of this is most of the rooms have balconies and they all face the ocean. So the right place as a beach destination. We also have fantastic dining options, obviously with Vark, which is our Indian fine dining restaurant. We also have Roaring Rabbit, which is our gastro pub. And then we have an all-day dining and our rooftop bar, Raya. We also have a restaurant by the beach, which is called The Coast. And what is really unique about our property is we have the longest pool on the Palm at 70 meters. We also have Popsicle, which is our kids club for our young guests to have a good time while the parents are hanging out by the beach and the pool. What is also unique is we have nice, big, spacious ballrooms. So again, we have the Royal Ballroom 1 and 2 with the capacity of almost 450 people that can comfortably be seated there. So it's become like a wedding destination and a great destination for mice. Our spa, Jiva Spa that we have is also unique to us. And we are one of the only properties on the Palm that offers Ayurveda treatment. So the property by itself, other than looking very beautiful and unique, I think it has got all the elements to make it a successful hotel on the Palm.
You said Indian, and my ears kind of really picked up on that. Do you have a lot of, what profile really of your customers come in who are, Indian? Have they started traveling as much as before?
Oh yes, actually, we get a nice mix of international and Indian guests. Our main sort of clientele comes out of UK, US, Germany, France. But obviously being India's strongest brand, we do attract the Indian diaspora that comes here. So amongst all my other 2 properties also that are here, we've seen about 18 to 20% of our clientele are Indians. Okay,
let's take a step back and really look at the hospitality market and the hospitality sector here in Dubai. First and foremost, let's talk about the dent perhaps that the pandemic has had on the hospitality industry. I know the hospitality sector in India was badly hit, most players asking for some sort of, sorts of relief from the government. What were things like here during the pandemic?
See, things here were also like the rest of the world. It was also tough, but kudos to the government here. They reacted extremely well. They were very proactive. Yes, when the pandemic hit, it was very tough. A lot of hotels were shutting down and people were getting laid off. But as a company, what we did was one of the biggest philosophies that we had was to protect livelihoods. So that was the whole pretext of all the decisions that we were making. And thanks to the support of our owners, we were able to keep Taj Dubai open and sort of keep it going. And we saw through that tough time, and fortunately, IPL happened. And because IPL happened, we had the team staying with us for almost 2 months, so that saw us through the tough times. And then there was a slight resurgence of business, and we saw that whole momentum going for taking our business forward. So what the government also did was they were very sensitive to our industry, and they gave us a lot of tax breaks, they gave us a lot of rebates, and which sort of continued for the next 2 years. So that sort of helped us manage our P&L and sort of make sure that people didn't lose their jobs.
Okay, I'm also quite curious to understand. So we are here at the Palm, and this has perhaps the most expensive hotels anywhere in the world. And what are occupancy rates like at the moment? And also I'm trying to get a sense that in a market which is so highly competitive, I want to pick your brains and understand your strategy to ensure that you're still the Taj property. You have your USP, right? So how do you ensure you're sort of communicating that to your clientele and bringing them back?
Let me break your questions down a bit. So first one was, what are the kind of occupancies that we've done?
Yeah.
So we have 2 other properties in Dubai, and one of them has been in existence for almost 6 years, and the other one is relatively new, about 2 years old. What we have seen is in the past year, we have beaten almost all our numbers from 2019. So that is a good sign. We've also seen occupancies go up. In the 6 months of Expo, both the other properties did almost 90% occupancy plus for the 6 months. Average rates went up, and that was purely driven by the demand. And obviously there was a lot of travelers coming in, business was happening, so that saw that. Even this hotel, we've been open now, what, 2 months? We've already seen about 55–60% occupancies, and the rates are in line with the ones on the Palm. So despite being a newcomer, we have seen the positivity in people traveling. One of the travel trends that I've seen change is people travel less often, but they stay for longer.
Okay.
And that is what we want, especially in a resort like this. That is exactly what we want, where they come, they stay here, they finish their work, and then they extend their stay for about 5–6 days and just have leisurely time and enjoy the resort per se.
If you can call out the big trends that you think is going to matter the most to them, let's say in the short to mid-term, in the hospitality space here in this market, what is it going to be?
Wow, things have changed so much.
Yeah.
I think the first thing I would highlight is the fact that hygiene and safety is very important. People are very conscious of that. So, all the efforts that you make of sanitization to make sure that everything is safe, secured for the guests is point number one. The other thing that I've seen as a trend very, very strongly is, as I mentioned earlier, that people travel less often, but they stay for longer. Point number 3 that I have seen is digitization. So what digitization has done is we are able to, contactless check-ins, everything is driven through QR codes. So that is another major trend we have seen. The fourth thing we have seen is food deliveries. Like IHCL has cumin that they've done in India. Here also we saw that trend where a lot of people were ordering things into their home. So we changed our business in such a way that we were able to keep up with that demand. The other thing that we've seen is there is multi-generational travel. So because of the pandemic, people are connecting back with their families. So in one group of people that comes, you'll have the grandfather, you'll have the parent, and you'll have the kid. So they all travel together to enjoy the time that they have with each other. Wellness, big trend. And here we have our spa, which is Jiva. And so wellness is a big ticket item for people. So these are some of the trends that I've seen very, very strongly in the past couple of months.
All right. I'm curious to understand, for someone who has spent almost 3 decades in the hospitality industry, is there any advice that you've received in your professional career that you want to use to give advice and, take away really to the people who are going to be watching this interview?
So one thing I would strongly say is look after your people. Because if your people are happy, they will keep your guests happy, and if your guests are happy, they'll keep coming back. So look after your people. Second thing I would say is resilience. Don't give up. Keep fighting. And that is very, very critical. And lastly, I would say innovate. Be agile and look at what's happening, be aware of what's going on, and react and plan in advance.
It's time for a quick break. On that note, we are back in just a moment. 'Welcome back. You're with us here on our Leaders of Tomorrow special series. We're coming to you live from Dubai, talking about the hospitality industry here in the Dubai UAE market.
"25Hours," another international chain, is a small group of dynamic hotels that offers a contemporary hotel experience in the major cities of Western Europe and have opened their newest property in Dubai. They are design hotels inspired by the spirit of our times and are fun and chic properties that promise a unique experience to every guest.
Man, so good that we could come here to this hotel, and just walking into this hotel feels so different. It feels so warm and welcoming. Run us through perhaps, the concept behind 25 Hours and why the name, and just this hotel itself.
Well, thank you very much for coming first of all, and welcome to 25 Hours in Dubai. The concept of this property here is based on the story of the region we are in, and it's based on the storyteller, which is called Hagawati in Arabic.
Okay.
So the whole story of this property, if you look to the ceiling or the artwork around the whole hotel, you will see that it goes from analog to digital. It goes from the Bedouins until today's days and era. And we see the whole journey and everything that have happened in the region in between. For example, now we are standing in our analog area, which features old cassette tapes, vinyl areas, and just all kind of different arts that you can play and interact with while you're here. 25 Hours is a brand that is playful. It should be fun to be here. It should be surprising. When you walk into a 25 Hours, you should feel surprised. Whether you come today, you go up to the 6th floor, it's not looking the same as the 5th floor.
Yeah.
Artwork on every floor is different. In fact, you can stay here several times without having the exact same experience.
Okay.
And this is what 25 Hours is about. It's about bringing an extra soulful experience, bringing something you didn't expect, and most of all, just make you feel at home, but without the daily chores that you would have at home.
I understand that there has been no dip as far as the average room rates are concerned, and I'm talking across the industry, not just for your hotel. Occupancy rates have been fantastic, 70 to 80 odd % from what I've seen, reports suggesting for 2020. How has the hospitality industry managed, here in Dubai, managed to retain this kind of growth? Because, for instance, in India, the hospitality sector during the pandemic has been badly hit. What's the secret, really?
I think if you look at very big picture, myself, I have worked in countries like Bali and Vietnam before, and they are solely based on a lot of tourism coming to island and staying. Of course, here in Dubai, we have a much broader demographic, business, leisure, staycations. Under COVID, Dubai as a country, they have handled it extremely well, in my opinion. We have kept the country open. We were one of the only countries where people could still travel to and feel safe and feel like this is okay to come to Dubai. There was a lot of measurement put in place to ensure that guest safety and COVID restrictions and so on was followed. So that's of course one thing. Another thing is that the location we are in, that you can fly to here from anywhere, and it just put us in a very central space that is very unique. When it comes to us specifically here, We had Expo going on in Dubai, which also, of course also have been very, very helpful for hotels. They have driven for 8 months, also during COVID, a lot of business to the region. Actually, March in this month have been one of the best months in history when you look back on many years in Dubai. And us as the new kid on the block, coming just with a 4 or 5 months old property, opening and experiencing a direct, very strong growth right away in terms of rooms occupancy, but in RevPAR as well.
Sure.
So we have had a very good start to the opening.
Sure. Going forward, perhaps looking into the next, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, by way of a trend, what would you think is going to pick up? Is it going to be, places like yours which are offering experiences more than just the stay? We're seeing this huge trend of hyper-personalization as far as the hospitality industry is concerned. In India, just give us a sense of that.
Lifestyle is the fastest growing product on the market when you talk about any kind of hotels. Across the line, across regions, across the world, like lifestyle products is without doubt what's growing. And then you can go down to what kind of lifestyle and what they need to offer. I believe very strongly that you need to offer experiences. It's not enough to just build a nice hotel anymore. It's not enough to build a nice restaurant. There needs to be a soul, there needs to be a journey, it needs to be something people can relate to and not just a beautiful building. Also the fact that you can come into 25 hours and you can play around with the things. It's not a static arc on a wall that you need to look at, but it's something you can touch, it's something you can feel. And you bring this experience with home, and that's what you tell your friends about. And this is, if you create brands, it needs to be brands that is unique and they have a different feel to it. And definitely this is what's trending both now in the market, but also going forward.
Sure. Something that I find quite unique, apart from the architecture, of course, I mean, we're looking at this beautiful ceiling that we have behind us, very unique, is the fact that your management philosophy, if I can call it that, is hiring people who are not necessarily from the hospitality space and perhaps paying them higher than what they would be making in other jobs or in the hospitality space. Why is that? Just run us through that.
So the philosophy since the beginning of starting this project here, it is to create something new on the market. And in Dubai, it's a spoiled market. You have everything. And what do you give to a person who has everything? You give them an experience. And this is what we are trying to do here. It is exactly that. And how do you bring that to life is through people. Like, people is everything. And you invest in the right people and they will take care of your business. They'll make sure that the guest who is coming here, they're having the right kind of experience. So we have had a very big focus on the people we hire is people with passion. It's people who have who can think outside the box. In general, like, I don't like the terms too much, think outside the box. There should basically be no box. And I just want people to be themselves and to engage with people and have a good time while being on job. Then it's our job to give them the tool and the knowledge so that they can learn the skills. It's easier to hire a person and teach them a skill, but personality you cannot teach.
So you're talking about tools. Is that then training that you're standardizing across all of your properties across the world?
That comes in many different ways. So of course, being at 25 hours, we want to provide a good hospitality, meaning a good service. We are professional, but we are being professional with fun and a casual approach.
Sure.
Then it's up to us here to, when we talk about tools can be anything. It is how to carry a plate or how to approach a guest or what is the right way to enter a code into a system. This is all skills that you can teach someone. And then we focus on just carrying the people and lift them up and let them shine by themselves. And I think this is very important, and that comes from the first interview that you have with them until they are in the job and they're working on the floor.
In the next, let's say 5 years, personally and for 25 hours, where do you see yourself headed?
Myself is it's a good question. I'm very sure that there is a lot more 25 hours coming in.
Including India, hopefully?
Including India is a very, very good, it's a good example, I would say, where there could be a 25 hours. So the vision for 25 hours is to have 25 hours in every cool city in the world. So if you have a cool city, 25 hours should be there.
Amazing. What's one thing that you've learned, Mads, in your professional journey that you want to use as an example or as advice for an entrepreneur who's watching this interview, and what would you have to tell them about why perhaps Dubai is a great place to do business?
I think if you want to start something, you want to launch something, just go ahead and do it. And I think a lot of people, they focus on being 100% there, but I think if you are 90% there, just start and you will figure out the last 10%.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's been a fascinating conversation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Economic support for those in the hospitality industry who had been affected by the pandemic, proactive measures taken by hospitality companies and chains to ensure that Dubai continues to be one of the safest markets when it comes to the hospitality space. All of that is propelling the market forward here in this region. With that, it's a wrap on tonight's show. We hope you've enjoyed listening to both of our experts really talking about this market. If you have any feedback for us, our contact is coming up on your screens as we speak. We love hearing from you. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.